Okay, so I think we should be live. Looks like we finally found someone, or at least someone might be watching. So this is Dragon Quest Monsters Terry's Wonderland. Now I might pause the stream for just a second to make sure the noise levels are right. So let's do that. Okay, here we go. So let's get this adventure started. Now there's this awkward situation that we have here that because the streamer I'm using does not output audio, I'm having to record the audio just by putting it near the mic, but hopefully it should be acceptable. So for those who aren't aware, this is actually a remake of a game that was released around the original Game Boy Color kind of timeline. And it came out around the same time that the Pokemon Red and Blue, or Pokemon Red and Green, whichever region of the world you were. And it actually had a lot more features to it than the original Pokemon games had, because it had, guess what? It had breeding, which that didn't happen until the next generation several years later. Now, this series hasn't, unfortunately, been released as much in the US. I honestly blame Square Enix. I think there absolutely is an audience for a game like this. Just look at the popularity of Yokai Watch. Not everyone just wants to play Pokemon on their 3DS or whatever Nintendo system is. But anyways, this is a remake. It was only released in Japan, and thanks to a really wonderful, hardworking team, we got it here via translation. So here we have who we'll find out is actually the main character talking to his sister. And what's really interesting about this is that this actually, in a way, acts as a prequel to Dragon Quest VI, which, interestingly enough, was released in the US on the 3DS finally. And so this stars Terry and his sister Millie. And as we're about to see, as a part of the story, things are going to happen. Oh, look at that! We have a glowing wardrobe. So what's interesting is that there's actually a lot more detail in this game when you're exploring around than the original on the Game Boy. So we didn't actually get to know that that monsters actually existed in this other part of the world. It was just sort of like, okay, I guess this is just a game. It's a small family, and here where they are. He used such strong magics to conquer this child. Jackpot. You know, if this character was not a monster, then I think we'd have a pretty easy time saying that this guy is a little bit sketchy. Actually, you know what? Even being a monster, this guy's sketchy. He's like, jackpot, little girl. But this is the nature of the beast. But you'll find out that he has nothing too nefarious planned. Say goodbye to your precious sister. So, I guess this is the part where we go into the deep dive and let's start the game. Now, as in any good RPG, it's really important to talk to people and figure out what's going on. So I think it's only appropriate that we go with the name of the channel. And that's about all we can fit. So now we have the premise of the game set up. It is simply that in order to see our sister again, we have to be involved in this scheme that the king has set up, where we're going to have the Starry Night tournament. So how does that happen? So it looks like we have now become a monster scout. So it looks like every year there is a tournament called the Starry Night Tournament that's held. They claim the Spirit Stone for their kingdom. Now, what's clear to me is that has been losing the qualifying rounds for Starry Night Tournament for quite some time now, but we're host kingdom this time. We must assure that we come out on top. Agreed. So, like in most RPGs, there are certain things that stand out. Pots are one of them. Oh, excuse me. Seems like a lot of people have died because of their monsters. Look at that. Looks like we can't even save just yet. So I'm just looking around a bit before heading down to the monster farm. Because I know that there's going to be chests in here, and like pretty much every... Oh, this one's locked. That one's also locked. So, looks like we might have to progress a bit more to unlock certain things. So let's head down to the farm. It's one of the cool things if you actually notice about the. I really want the streaming to go a bit faster, but you know I'm limited by the internal thing. That right there is a Draki. That's, I guess, the first monster we've seen so far. And then look at this. We also have slime. Manage teams. We're going to move him to there. Okay. Well, do you look at that? Looks like the farm might just be struggling a bit. But I remember in the original there are certain things that can happen on the farm that can actually enable you to get a whole bunch of stuff. Look at that! I found my first mini medal. And by the way, mini medals are super useful. So anytime you find them, you really want to. It's a good thing, basically. Yeah. Well, let's see. We can't go through there. So we can't go there because we need to befriend more monsters. Now I think I remember there being a funny thing that happens in this part of the farm. Now I think to start, the funny thing that will happen will be, well, we might literally just get pooped on. Let's see if that monster is out and about right now. Nope. So moving on. D-pad up while holding the B button. Yeah, looks like I'm not seeing that dragon there. So yeah, if I'm probably gonna upload this so that others can watch it. If you in a non-live stream format, if you want to know more about this game, or if you want to see more of this, or if you want to know how to start playing this game yourself, really just send me a comment. I'll try and help you out. This is a game that I've enjoyed for a while, and I think others should be able to as well. Uh-oh. Dungeon! All of you! Dungeon! Looks like we're getting a speck of, oh! Lemon bar, I should say. There we go. So now we might be able to get a hold of these treasure chests. Cypress staff. No, I already know how to equip a weapon. Medicinal herbs. So now we're gonna give him the cypress staff. So this is our first companion. He is super weak. He's a slime, but he's actually better than a wild slime. So thankfully we at least have that. Let me explain to you guys some of the systems here. So here you see they have HP, MP, attack, defense, agility, and wisdom. Now those are all actually pretty self-explanatory. You know, HP, you lose that, you're dead. MP, you lose that, you can't cast any more spells. Attack, physical attacks are affected by that. Defense, how well you can defend yourself, blah blah blah, how much damage you take. Agility, how fast you go in the turn. It's you know, it runs very much like any other Dragon Quest game in that you know, you have a turn-based system and it's fairly simple, but this, like some of the more recent ones, like for example Dragon Quest VIII, it has some additional nuances that make it a lot of fun. But part of the fun of this game is actually also the aspect of being able to what's it called? Breed monsters, so you can make better monsters. You aren't just simply stuck with what you catch or scout in the wild. So wisdom is, you know, their magic attack. As you can see here, it looks like Slimy has pretty good wisdom. So this trait, the first one, small body, just happens to be that they're harder to hit. Critical Massacre, I think it makes them more likely to hit critically. And Zapmeister makes them better at using zap skills. The resistances, weak to Zam. Zam is kind of like the dark version of Zap. Zam is basically dark lightning. Zap is white lightning or whatever. Weak versus poison, drain magic, confusion, mind, sleep, decelerate, half bang damage, half sag. Sag is a defense removing move. So they're actually not bad. Now, monsters get up to, I think, it actually depends on the size of the monster, but most monsters start out with simply 2 skills, and any one that you'll catch in the wild will be very similar. They'll have the skill that every single one of that monster species has. In the case of a base slime, it's Slimer. So as we level up, we will earn points to allocate to these skills. So it'll learn Frizz, which is a fire skill, then Heal, then Zap, White Lightning again, Body Slam, Physical Attack, Dazzle Flash. I think that's a blinding ability. Sag lowers either attack or defense. I think it's actually attack. I actually think Sag is attack, and Steady Recovery actually turns out to be a pretty good ability. And then defense boosts, that's pretty self-explanatory, boosts your defense and HP over time. And I'll be able to get into some of the more complexity as the game goes on. Field point allocation. Alright, looks like he doesn't have any skills to learn. So I guess at this point we can just simply go on and go catch that Healy. Blue Pillar, interesting. Useful skills and convenient commands. That's actually pretty awesome. Zoom is, I think, something that returns you home. So we can probably use that at any time. It can also be used inside of a Traveler's Gate to return back to the castle's throne at any time. So, player skills, Zoom, Throne Room, Monsters Farm, Traveler's Gate, bottom first floor. That's awesome. So we can actually use that to move around in the base area as well. Alright, so before we head in, let's do a little save. And here we go. The beginning of the adventure. Actually, I think this has gone on for almost 30 minutes, so I'll leave it here and literally just resume in like 5 minutes. But this will be the end of this particular section of the stream. So thanks for watching. Next stream we'll be getting into the actual game itself.